Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. I hope you're doing well. Important video today on the timing of EIDL loan increases, in particular how long it takes from application to approval, and once you've been approved, how many days until the money is in your bank account. Here's an example from one of our viewers today. They got a $350,000 deposit in their bank account today. I'll talk about how long it took for this person, what they did to make this happen step by step. This person has maxed out on the full amount, $500,000. And a quick update on the big economic news. Record inflation was reported on today. I'll talk about what that means for all of you, but there are higher consumer prices across the board. Most importantly, thanks so much for subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and leaving comments. Every subscriber of our channel is eligible for our $1,000 giveaway. We picked a winner on Sunday. We're going to pick another winner later this week. $1,000 just for subscribing. After you hit subscribe, go download our free Skip app. It's Hello Skip in the App Store and Google Play, or just go to trackeidlgrant.com. You'll also get a $10 credit for future services on the app and a shot at $1,000 this week and next week. Okay, before I talk about the EIDL loan increase timing, especially from approval to money in your bank account, and some of the roadblocks along the way, today's big economic news. Here's the headline from the Wall Street Journal. Inflation accelerates again in June as economic recovery continues. Why is inflation happening? I'll go into that. But the consumer price index is up, along with increases for new autos, airline fares, and apparel. Here's the main takeaway. U.S. inflation accelerated at the fastest pace in 13 years as the recovery from the pandemic gained steam. That is the primary driver here. Demand is outstripping supply as things open up. The Labor Department said last month's consumer price index increased 5.4% from a year ago. That's the highest 12-month rate since August 2008. Here's how it looks right here on the chart. The index measures what consumers pay for goods and services, including clothes, groceries, restaurants, meals, recreational activities, and vehicles. Prices for used cars and trucks, huge leap, 10.5% from the previous month, driving 1/3 of the rise in the overall index. Here's a quote from Richard Moody, chief economist at Regions Financial Corp. Demand is coming back very rapidly and business are normalizing prices in the sense that they are making up for declines. Supply shortages and higher shipping costs is part of the driver. Here is the most succinct summary right here. Rising prices reflect robust consumer demand boosted by widespread vaccinations, the ending of many business restrictions, trillions of dollars in federal pandemic relief, and ample household savings. Stronger demand also has pushed employers to seek more workers and pay higher wages as they struggle to hire. Those higher wages are often passed along to the consumer in the form of higher costs. So here's the key question, whether this inflation surge is temporary due to those factors I just mentioned. That's a key question for policymakers and a key question for the U.S. economy and financial markets and the Federal Reserve's easy money policies, low interest rates aimed at helping the economy through the pandemic. Another factor to all of this is our expectation as consumers for higher inflation. This has been talked about for months now, especially with pumping trillions of dollars into the economy, more household saving. I talked about that in yesterday's video, the gap. Consumers are more willing to accept higher prices because they expect them to rise. Here's an important survey from small businesses. 47% of small businesses indicated that they've raised average selling prices in June, the highest share since 1981. According to a survey conducted by the National Federation of Independent Business, a trade association. I'd love to hear in the comments, is this affecting your business and your decision to raise prices or not? Have you had to take that move, given that to a large extent consumers are expecting this inflation? Anyway, that's big economic news. We kind of saw this coming, but now that the data is out, we can see it firsthand. Speaking of data firsthand, I just want to mention this again. We have free lookups for all EIDL loan and grant recipients, all PPP loan recipients, and RRF recipients. You can link to them all from the EIDL page. Go to helloskip.com/EIDL-data. You can put in your zip code or city and scroll down to see businesses near you that got grants or loans. And we are updating this data tomorrow. So some of the new targeted and supplemental grants aren't in this data set yet, but they will be by tomorrow. Okay, let me jump to the big stuff here. EIDL loan increases. We've got a few screenshots here of one example from someone who went from $150K up to the full $500K amount and how long it took. So here it is. From April 22nd, this is when the SBA sent out emails saying, reminder, you can log into your portal to request a loan modification. So many of you got emails around this time, and that's when you first applied. So that's almost 12 weeks ago. That'll be 12 weeks later this week since the SBA sent out these emails. Important reminder about your SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan Modification request. Our records indicate you have not taken the necessary steps to complete your SBA EIDL modification. You had to basically log in and sign your 4506T, the infamous 4506T. Still no word on whether the SBA has removed that requirement in favor of something else to verify your revenue. We're waiting to hear back from our contact about that. Anyway, that was April 22nd. Also that week, you may have gotten a do not reply email from do not reply-COVID EIDL increase request 14 as part of the response to the email request. So there's a couple different ways the SBA was trying to get people to request EIDL loan increase. One was by email, one was by the portal. Anyway, the main point here is this was around the last week in April where all of this was happening, and most of you watching took action around the exact same time, at the end of April. Now, in this person's case, 5 days ago, they were approved. They talked to a loan officer about a week ago, I believe. So this was exactly 11 weeks since applying on the portal. Okay, so keep that in mind. Every case is different. The point is there's a backlog of millions of people, perhaps you're one of them, waiting to be reviewed by a loan officer and waiting for that loan officer to get a tax transcript from the IRS or some other way of verifying your business income for 2019 and 2020. Now, in this person's case, they emailed the SBA a number of times. This email right here, disastercustomerservice@sba.gov, checking in on the EIDL loan status. You should always, on our app, we've put shortcuts to this, a link you can click that will open up an email that basically has your application number and just a check-in note saying it's been 10 weeks, it's been 12 weeks, just checking in. Do you have everything you need? Do you know when I may get assigned to a loan officer? Do you have my tax transcripts yet? And you may even want to add, is it possible a loan officer can look at my application this week? Okay, so it's worth doing because you'll get answers back from the SBA on number one, whether you have any outstanding items. Number two, typically they'll say what they're waiting on. If they're waiting on your tax transcript from the IRS, they'll tell you. And number three, they may make a note on your file, which may get it to a loan officer quicker. We don't know for sure, but it can't hurt. And there's probably some chance that it helps. So keep that in mind if you're still waiting. As part of that email, there was also an attachment that said, "Dear borrower, we received your request for a modification. The loan amount has been updated from $150K to $500K. Payment amount will be from $731 to $2,514. And again, this was Thursday, July 8th, 5 days ago. At the same time, the portal looked like this. With the green status, your loan modification has been approved. And this morning, so about 4 business days later, the deposit was in this person's bank account. Here you can see it's from SBAD, Treasury, 310 mispay in the amount of $350,000. And that is in line with what we've heard, typically 3 to 5 days to get the money wired to your business bank account. We just wanted to show an example because we hope many of you are getting to this stage in the process. A loan officer will be reviewing you if they haven't this week, next week, very soon we hope, so you'll know what to expect. If you are waiting for money to hit your bank account from the SBA, you can expect probably between 3 and 5 days. In this case, it was 4 days, right in the middle. Would love to hear what you think in the comments. That's it for today's update. Be sure to subscribe so you can be eligible for our $1,000 giveaway later this week, and download our free app, trackeidlgrant.com. Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.